Let's face it, we are living in a world with lots of unknown, with constant change, with geopolitical and economical disruption, and of course, technological disruption. So how do we break through this pattern? How do we navigate with calm, with composure? Today in this world, I see leaders responding very differently to this uncertainty. Most are doing it all from a wobbly state, from inner pressure, from tension. It's a strategy for survival, but not for thriving. What would change for you if at this very moment you would be able to lead grounded, calm, leading from the future version of yourself? You cannot control anything what is on the outside, but you can elevate your inside. How would it be different for you and in your business, in your organization, in your team, if you led from your highest you? Welcome to the Extraordinary Leadership Podcast, the voice of new leadership paradigm, where human evolution is in the forefront of leadership. Here, leadership is not about struggle, control, or exhaustion, but it's about embodied authority, trust, magnetic presence, and leading with ease, creating lasting impact and building highly performing organizations. My name is Dagmar Asprick. I'm the founder of Extraordinary Leadership, transformational executive partner to executives and leaders and CEOs who are evolving from within to become the leaders who will build highly performing organizations ready for the future, with lasting impact and fulfilled life. And in here, we go beyond leadership strategy to the most important and defining inner factors for your leadership, business, and organizational success. And every conversation is paradigm shifting, provide transformational insights and clarity that will help you to focus for the next step. I'm living in UAE, where we have missiles sending over daily since a couple of days. And we feel incredibly grateful for the defense system, for leadership, for keeping us safe. And at the same time, like everywhere else at the moment, we look into what's the implications in the world, what's the potential economic implications for our businesses, for our lives. And at the same time, I'm in this middle of new program launch, the Elevated Leader Program, one of the flagship programs of Extraordinary Leadership. And I feel absolutely calm, grounded, excited, energized, grateful for those leaders also that step in, joyful, trusting. Especially, seeing leaders stepping into their own expansion and elevation through that journey. One of the most important capabilities that they will develop at this moment in time. And today in this world, I see leaders responding very differently to this uncertainty outside. Some panic and worry. Some try to control, some try to respond, some try to figure things out. But most are doing it all from a wobbly state, from inner pressure, from tension, from worry, from stress, from anxiety about the future. Or even sometimes fake calm, suppressing the emotions, rationalizing emotions, feeling lonely with them. And that is never going to lead to a powerful strategies, growth, impact that truly mobilize people. It's a strategy for survival, but not for thriving. And so most leaders don't even realize it because this is the only operating mode that they know. And they've been leading with this tension and pressure for time. And now it's just increasing with the external triggers we live with, conditioned into it for years. So how do we break through this pattern? How do we navigate with calm, with composure these times? How do you rise and thrive on that waves? How do you lead so that you bring that composure not only to people that you lead, but also in your house? How you can actually access a more positive potential thinking rather than stay in this worry and anxiety about the future. I created this episode to help you answer these questions and lead with calm composure and positive attitude, confidence in these very volatile, uncertain, unknown times. So right now listening to me, I would like you to check in with yourself. From which state have you been operating lately? Is it pressure or is it calm, grounded presence? Or maybe it is that place of gratitude, of positivity, not fake positivity, embodied belief, certainty, conviction, and visionary thinking. Especially in these last weeks, in these times, when the uncertainty and rapid changes and unexpected situations are coming to us. I created this episode to help you lead with composure in these uncertain times, lead from a grounded place, lead from a place of possibilities rather than limitations. Because this is really what matters now in these moments when uncertainty arises, when volatility is there. People seek for direction, people attune to your state and your presence. They seek more calm, safety, trust. And they seek for not only hope, but confidence and new opportunities, new possibilities, new ways of thinking. Because every of these challenging moments are carrying that opportunities. And we need to learn how to access them. We need to learn how to create those gifts in those most difficult moments that we're dealing with. And this is one of those moments that we're dealing with currently. I want to start by saying that in the times when uncertainty is high, when things are changing faster than what we were ready for, right? And a lot of unexpected situations happened. These are the things that really matters most when it goes about leading. The very first thing that matters is your inner composure. In other words, your embodied state in this moment. And what matters is that this state is calm, is grounded, is present, is caring, is empathic, is also confident. And yes, you can embody that state. And yes, this is something that you need to focus on as a leader, because it's that state that you bring to every meeting, conversation. And from that state is, you tap to different kind of thinking than from a tense, stressed, chaotic state inside. So it does matter. It's kind of the first priority in times of uncertainty, volatility, and everything is shaken from the outside. Because obviously in that moment, our mind is going to the worry and anxiety automatically. And is creating a lot of different scenarios. And also our nervous system is in shaken mode, right? Each time I've heard this noises in the air here, right? I knew that they are, of course, for the good, but each time you feel that in your nervous system. Those that live in UAE, in this region, knows what I'm talking about. So we need to learn how to get back to this calm and composure from that state, for that completely dysregulated state, we can say shaken state, quickly activated in those moments, risk of safety is involved. So number one is managing your internal state. This is what matters most, because this is what you bring to others, and this is how you will also be able to help yourself, but also others. Number two is about what matters in leadership in these times is about staying connected to your vision, first of all. Staying connected to your vision and in conviction of your vision. Because in the moments where uncertainty comes, in those moments, we actually start to delve and start to disconnect with the vision that we actually are here to bring into reality. The direction. We start to shift our operating mode in some way, thinking that, okay, we need to prioritize what's important now. And it's important. But staying connected with your vision is actually what grounds you and what helps you to access the clarity about the direction. And again, people that work with you look up for this clarity, look up for this direction. So staying close to that vision and leading from that embodied vision is what's going to actually help you in navigating this difficult time. What it means actually, what I'm saying, leading from the vision. It's not only about thinking about the vision. It is about leading from the energetic state that is aligned with that vision. From the version of you that created that vision and that already realized that. That energetic state, that presence, that identity is leading and navigating uncertain moments completely different than your survival operating mode that is turning on autopilot in those moments. And yes, you need to get yourself to that state. You need to embody that version of yourself in those most difficult moments. This is how you tap to wise intuition, inner knowing, clarity in what to do in this direction. After you regulated your state, you calm yourself down and you tapped into that version of yourself, that energy, that identity. The number three, very important, is of course, staying in connection with people. Staying in connection with people that you lead, with those that you collaborate with, of course, with your families. People look up for connection, for safety, for direction. And actually, it's interesting and amazing always to see how in those moments of distraction, connection is strengthening, right? Communities comes together. People come together. There is an offering of support. There is more care. So that connection with the people that you lead is very important. And again, here, your state will matter in which state you come to these meetings. And embodying calm, grounded, and state of the version of you that is confident is different than when you embody a state which is shaken, which is stressful, which is tension, which is chaotic, which is in worry and anxiety. You will basically duplicate it. And equally, what matters in the time is communication. Communicating transparently. Communicating things that really others need to know, that are important, are also granular. You know, especially when we are dealing with the times when things are uncertain, unknown, staying in communication matters. Clarity of what's going on, transparency of what's going on, and as well as what is now the focus and where to focus the attention and how to collaborate and what is the expectation, right, in that collaboration that move the organization and team forward. That's the conversations to have. The transparency matter because obviously we have abundance of every information currently, and also that transparency guides clarity and trust and safety. Transparency in those moments, communicating, including communicating how you actually go through that, might be of value for the people that you lead because it's also authentic. And if you do know how to lead yourself in that grounded and calm state, communicating how you do that is also very valuable because it helps others actually to follow in your steps. And that's how you create a collective composure. And the last one, what matters in those moments is also the ability to tap to your creative mind. Tap to this possibility thinking. Because in those moments when there is so much threat from the inside to our inner system, and naturally our system goes into survival, we are cut off that part of our thinking, if you like. We are naturally only in a narrow focus how we can actually survive right now. And as a false alert, especially if you need to run and to be safe, that's absolutely greatest thing that it works. It's our system that's protecting us. But in most of the cases, it's not the case, right? In most of the cases, it's about the potential worry and threat and anxiety that is generated with the outside circumstances. And so we do need to be able to not only regulate our state and get ourselves to the highest possible version of ourselves in that situation, but also to actually access that intuition, that creativity, create opportunities from these most challenging moments and seek for gifts that can help us to create new opportunities, gifts to practice new skills, gifts to maybe create a new products and services that actually I needed at this moment more than before. So there are many different possibilities that, opportunities you can actually create in those challenging moments. But in order to do that, you need to be able to access that thinking beyond the analytical and worrying at that moment, a narrow focused mind. And so if you embrace those elements, which I just mentioned, stepping yourself in a grounded state, communicating transparently, leading from that future you, embodying that energy, embodying that identity, as well as connecting with people, being close to people, and finally tapping into the mind that allows you to create opportunities. Those are cornerstones of how you can actually thrive in those most challenging moments where it feels like everything is out of your control. Because remember, in those moments, you can't control the outside world, but you can control the inner world, and you can control what you communicate, how you respond, how you feel, and how you think about it, and your perspective about the whole thing. And you as a leader, naturally, people will be looking up to you, right? So you create that environment, you create that collective composure. You create almost a response of others because it's your state and how you are approaching the situation, how you're communicating, how you're thinking is influencing others. So the question that I have here for you is this. What would change for you if at this very moment you would be able to lead from that state? Grounded, calm, leading from the future version of yourself, confident, in conviction, communicating transparently, and creating new possibilities in this moment. What would that mean for you? What would that mean and bring to your business, to your organization, to your life, to your team? With all of that, what I said, I also want to share, what is the reality that I really see? And the reality is that most leaders struggle with this, what I just explained, because they are trying to do all of that while being internally stressed, reactive, disconnected from their vision. Most leaders wake up worried, intention smaller or bigger, opening emails as first thing in the morning, reading social media or news that brings already worry about the future, about their companies, about their direction, about the existence. And not noticing that they are leading from that worry state the entire day. And that state is limiting the thinking, the impact, the outcomes. So many feel insecure, even if some appear calm and grounded on the outside. And I'm not saying that reading the news and being informed is, something wrong. Absolutely not. We do need to be informed on a daily basis. But it's about how much you tune into, which sources you tune into, and when do you tune into? When you already start to read that information from the grounded, composed, confident state, they don't hit you so much. You are going to respond more wisely, more intentionally, more consciously. Versus where you are waking up wobbly with worries and your state is already on a trigger, that news, that new information that may potentially be a threat and a risk to your business, you will receive it completely different, and it will determine your day. So the question that you may want to ask yourself is this. So what is the baseline? What is the emotional baseline, energy baseline did you actually start your day with? And how much is that shaping your day? How much is it shaping your decisions, your leadership? There is a paradigm shifting practice that I master, embody, believe in, and I've learned, and I've been practicing for some time by now, and also a practice that I'm bringing also to my clients. And it's the power of what I call the aligned state. And it comes from actually understanding the law of resonance. Understanding that when you are energetically aligned with the version of yourself and the reality that you are here to create, everything shifts. And one of the most powerful strategies that I anchor in any moments of leadership, in any launch, in any creation, in right now, aligning myself energetically with that desired state. It's beyond just a state regulation. It's beyond just being calm and grounded, which is the premise of it. It is about aligning myself energetically with that desired state, with the version of myself who is already leading from that place, from the place of the future, with that vision that I'm here to bring and create. So who is the version of you that you are leading with on a daily basis? Because from that state, I show up completely differently. I don't just react, and I don't even respond to the market. Yes, I understand what is going on, but I'm actually creating my own reality. In other words, my market responds to me. I don't chase. I focus on being in alignment with that version of myself, being the aligned lighthouse for the opportunities and the people that I'm here to serve and impact their lives and their leadership and their business. And from that place, I'm more intuitive. I'm more grounded. I'm more calm. I'm more confident. I'm more trusting. I'm more bold. I'm more capable. And I think differently. I see different possibilities. And I access creativity that I need in order to cope with the new situation and reinvent in some moments as well. So what opportunities you could create from that state for yourself, for your organization, for your business, if we're able to tap to that state. I believe truly that this is going to be the defining factors for leaders who thrive now and shape the future. Because, the change is going to continue to happen. The disruption is going to continue to happen. And obviously, you cannot control anything what is on the outside, but you can elevate your inside so that you can better deal with the outside. And that creates completely different outcomes. There is a whole process, right, behind the energetic alignment and embodiment that leads to resonance. And in essence, it's about training your mind and your body to lead in alignment with the desired and envisioned future. And once you do, things start to shift and you lead from flow, expansion. And that is exactly what we do in an Elevated Leader program that is starting 9th of April. Elevating the baseline from inside out, from which you operate, from which you lead, so that you can lead from that most aligned energetically state and create from a place of possibility, not limitation, positivity and conviction, and not worry and anxiety. And so that you can actually not only react and respond to the market, but create a market for yourself. So it's going to be amazing, and I'm absolutely grateful for those who are stepping into it, for those that already embrace that process. And so if you know that it's time for you to expand and elevate how you lead so that you actually thrive in this most challenging and uncertain times, this is definitely a place where you want to be. And this is my invitation to you, because if not now, then when? So I want to leave you with this. How would it be different for you and in your business, in your organization, in your team, if you led from your highest you? Grounded, trusting, bold, calm, intuitive, confident, energized right now, despite or in the middle of the uncertain times. The answers will give you the guidance that you need at this moment. And I only can invite you to step into the journey that truly enables you to become it. Thank you for listening today, and see you next time.